Now on News Channel 5's Nightside, the city of Pineville moved forward tonight with plans to combat blighted properties. We've got the latest right now.
It's in horrible shape. It could never be renovated. It's a detriment to the community. It threatens the public health and safety. There's nothing that can be done to renovate or restore this facility.
Thank you for joining us for News Channel 5's Nightside. I'm Johnny Atkinson. Well, the city of Pineville is taking more steps to rid the city of blight, as $500,000 of city and grant money is going towards the renovation or condemnation of the blighted homes. There were 7 condemnation hearings at tonight's City Council meeting. Homeowners had the chance to speak before the council and address their blighted properties. Of the 7 homes, 5 were condemned for demolition, and 2 were given a 60-day extension to come up with a plan of action. Pineville Mayor Rich Dupree says that the city is taking these steps as part of the Louisiana Squatter Prevention Act.
We have a unit that is going out on weekends and specifically going to structures that haven't been boarded up or maybe that are off the beaten path and making sure that someone is not squatting there illegally. The
law went into effect on August 1st. Penalties for squatting can include a fine of up to $2,500, 12 years in prison, or both.